Hi, I'm Dayna Steele, the author of Rock to the Top here at South by Southwest in Studio SX. Joining me is the director of Rock the Vote, Heather Smith. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
This is a very exciting election. I was just really excited when I heard you were the one I was going to have the chance to interview. Talk to me a little bit about Rock the Vote in this election, how it's different from others.
Sure. Well, the elections right now are just absolutely amazing if you look at the youth voter turnout. So starting with the very first primary election in New Hampshire and Iowa, turnout doubled and tripled, and in every single election since then in 2008, turnout of young voters under 30 has either doubled, tripled, or quadrupled. So there's just a movement of young people who are registering and going to the polls that's happening just before our eyes, and they're really claiming their place in the political process.
And you guys, Rock the Vote has really always, of course, been there to really encourage the teen vote, the youth vote, the voters that were forgotten about for so long. I mean, we had the right to vote at 18, but nobody was exercising that right. You guys have a goal to register how many voters this time around?
Yeah, so Rock the Vote's mission is to engage young people in the political process and really build political power for young people so the issues that we care about get addressed by those that we elect. And in order to do that, we are going to register 2 million young voters this cycle. This is the largest youth voter registration campaign in history. It's in fact 3.5 times bigger than anything Rock the Vote's ever done. So if you think you've seen Rock the Vote before, just look out, because this year it's going to be huge, and we're on track to hit that goal right now.
I think that's great. You know, the youth vote is definitely in the news, and it does have some people a little crazy. Specifically, I was watching Glenn Beck on CNN. He is about to go ballistic over the fact that some of the delegates and some of the super delegates, I think there's a super delegate that's 19 or 20. This has got Glenn absolutely unglued.
Yes.
Talk to me about some of the delegates and the super delegates who are going to decide this race that are in their late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the conventional wisdom has always been that young people don't vote and young people therefore don't deserve a seat at the table. And we've really flipped that on the head this cycle. We've said not only do we vote, but we're voting in record numbers. In fact, propelled candidates to victory in many of the early primary states right now. And as a result, the candidates and the delegates and the super delegates have to pay attention to voters under 30. So they're coming to our college campuses, they're coming to our community centers, they're talking about issues like affording college, the environment, the war in Iraq, how it's affecting voters under 30. And so really we're taking our place and changing how politics is run. And yes, that's getting under the skin of some of those who like things the way they used to be. But 18-year-olds won the right to vote in 1972, and we absolutely have the right to sit at the table.
Well, and then they need to exercise that. My next question, and you answered it partially, is what is driving the youth vote? I mean, we've had wars before, we've had economy problems before. Why is it that you think that today's youth, I mentor a class of 26 middle school girls who are a long way away from voting. But they are involved in this process. They are discussing it. They're debating it. What's really driving this?
Yeah, well, if you look at this movement, it actually started a number of years ago. So in 2004, we saw a huge surge in young people going to the polls, and it happened again in 2006, and it's happening again in 2008. So it's really been building over the last couple of years. It wasn't just a one-time thing around this election. And when you think about what's driving that, it's really, there's a whole new generation of young people. We're not our older brothers and sisters of Gen X. We actually grew up at a time when there was a war, where our country was attacked, there's hurricanes and natural disasters, and an economy that's really struggling, and an environment that's going to hell in a handbasket right now. And I think young people are afraid of what the future holds, and finally willing to take that fear and take their future into their own hands and bring that to the ballot box.
I just noticed I'm sitting here shaking my head like I'm 22. Yes,
good.
I am. Let's talk about the individual candidates. Now, we're not endorsing anybody, neither you nor I, but I want to talk about how they're reaching out to the youth vote. McCain.
Yeah, in fact, all of the candidates that are still in the race right now are the candidates that were running in youth voter initiatives within their 2008 campaign. So really a statement that you have to reach out to young people in order to win this election this year. And all three of them have really done a lot of work to target younger
So there's
voters.
not one you can specifically say
I can
once,
tell you
but
about
all three of
them. I mean, in fact, all of Barack Obama and John McCain won the Rock the Vote Award in 2005 for their work reaching out to and engaging young voters. John McCain has done town halls and forums talking to young people in their communities. He did a MySpace MTV event. He just did a Rock the Vote thing with us in Los Angeles. And he's getting his message out to young people. And he's always been quite good at doing that. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, same thing. They are running initiatives. They're going to college campuses. They're targeting young people like voters for really the first time that we've seen this in a presidential cycle. They're calling us on the phone. They're knocking on our doors. But they're also addressing the issues that matter.
Has Hillary gotten Chelsea involved in Rock the Vote at all?
Yeah.
Has she gotten involved with it?
Chelsea and the Clinton campaign launched an initiative called Our Voice, Our Vote, where they went around and went to college campuses and talked to college students about the importance of voting.
If I had told you 5 years ago, hello, Heather, it's nice to meet you. My name is Dayna. In 5 years, you're going to ring the opening bell on Wall Street. You would have said?
I still will say. Not what I thought I'd be doing. I was, organizing young people and students around issues like the environment 5 years ago and in the electoral process, and it's still what I do, but it's amazing that the power of the 45 million young people in this country to affect the outcome of this election and to make change in our world is so real that major institutions like the NASDAQ are inviting me to come open, the stock market on Super Tuesday. So I think it's a real statement to the work that's been done by groups like Rock the Vote over the past 18 years to really lay the groundwork for this movement that we're seeing amongst young people right now.
Now here at South by Southwest, you've been getting, a lot of artists have been dropping by to film public service announcements.
Yes.
Tell me about some of the ones that have come by, and tell me who's the Holy Grail that hasn't come by yet?
Well, Rock the Vote was started by members of the recording industry and artists and art directors and creative directors. So we've always worked with artists who speak to young people every day and ask them to do what they do best and engage young people in the political process and talk about issues and why they're voting. And so that's exactly what we're doing here. We've had about 40 different artists who are performing at South by Southwest stop by and shoot a public service announcement that will be part of our ad campaign this summer and fall. And my favorite so far, Pharrell did come by on a pink bicycle. It was kind of fun, and did a very heartfelt testimonial about why he's voting this year and why he thinks everyone else should. And who do I want to come by now? Well, Two Live Crew is playing tonight at the Fader Levi's Lounge at the Fort, which is where Rock the Vote is set up this week. And they were one of the original bands involved with Rock the Vote when we were founded, which was around stopping the censorship of music and making sure that young people get to decide what music they listen to.
Let's see, what else? I have so many questions and we only have so much time. What would you say is other than getting people registered to vote, what is your mission between now and November?
It's a great question. Registration is just the first step. I mean, everyone should go to rockthevote.com to register to vote. Even if you've moved, you have to re-register. If you've just turned 18, you need to fill out the registration form. It's very simple to do on our website, rockthevote.com. But that's just the first step, right? Then you have to get educated on the issues and on the candidates, and Rock the Vote is holding forums and debates and making sure that information gets out there, in a trusted way and from a youth perspective. And then finally, you have to go vote to make sure that, with 45 million of us, if we showed up at the polls in record numbers this election.
We'd really scare Glenn back then.
Don't you think? And that's the vision, right? Enough of us go vote on Election Day in November that the day after the elections, that's the phone call I get from the president-elect going, wow, you've elected me to this office. What do young people want and what can I do?
And get them involved because they were a part of the election process.
That.
Okay, I'm getting the wrap it up signal. So I think the most important thing I can do is revisit, how do you register to vote? We keep saying register to vote, register to vote, register to vote.
Yeah.
Let's very specifically explain how to do it so that it can be done.
Absolutely. In fact, it's incredibly simple. We have developed this really kind of new technology that allows you to fill out a one-page form right at rockthevote.com. You click on register to vote, it pulls it up, you fill out your information, you hit submit, it produces a PDF for you that you print it, sign it, and send it in. And when you print it, the address is right there. You literally, one-page form, rockthevote.com, print it, sign it, send it. We'll walk you through that process.
And that website was?
Rockthevote.com.
I'm sorry?
www.rockthevote.com.
Would that be rockthevote.com?
That's very good. The other thing, though, that everyone should know about is that you can register to vote, but you can actually register all of your friends to vote. You can be a real agent for change in this election cycle with us by taking the registration tool and putting it on your own website. So any individual, any artist, anyone with a website or a blog can take the registration tool from rockthevote.com and put it on their website and register their friends, register their members, register their fans, and help build this movement of young people.
I think the key word here is register. Register and register. Heather Smith, the director of Rock the Vote, rockthevote.com. Make your voice heard. It is your right. Thank you.
Thank you, Dayna.